Hiya, my name's William Titley and this film is part of a project called Kick Down the Barriers in Blackburn. The film was made in collaboration with two members of the public, Cath Ford and Imran Ali. Just like a lot of people these days, Cath and Ali rarely got a chance to speak to each other than a quick glance or a wave while passing in the street. And to explain the themes of the project, I went to Cath's house for a brew, and afterwards she introduced me to her neighbour, Ali. And after another brew at Ali's house, I found out that he'd never been to Blackburn Museum, so it was only logical to meet the following week at the museum. During the visit, I attempted to record some of the things that came up in conversation, and looking back at the film, it's nice to see how all three of us were getting to know each other whilst exploring the fabulous spaces and collections in the museum. The film explores the beautiful simplicity of the social encounter, something that we all took for granted before 2020. I don't mean a fleeting wave or a glance across the street. I mean meaningful encounters where we can learn about our own identities through interaction with others, by sharing our life experiences and growing together as community. The interactions between Cath, Ali and myself evolved naturally as we learned new things about each other, growing together in the nurturing space of the museum. The art, ancient relics and other artefacts evoked impromptu conversations which I've grouped into themes for the film. Nevertheless, the film, while it reveals often hidden aspects of social art practice, it also reminds us that we need to have more brews with many more people, and to find new ways of staying connected and growing together. So, let's start at Cath's house as we discussed the South Asian Art Gallery and how it might look in the future. So it's been there 30 years this year, the gallery. In this September it'll be 30-year-old. And I know Manchester are claiming that they've got the first South Asian gallery, aren't they? But actually, yeah, this one's 30 years old. So there is part of me what think, oh, maybe we shouldn't be getting rid of it because it's quite old.
Yeah.
And maybe we should keep the title. But then part of me thinks, oh, actually it's language that's divisive, and maybe we should start addressing that instead of separating all the communities into little cultural boxes. Maybe that's not adding to the, maybe it's not helping that use of language in that way.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the gallery and whether it gets merged into the other history of Blackburn?
Well, do you know, I hadn't honestly thought about it until you asked the question, because I've done quite a bit of work in the South Asian Gallery as an artist working with people, and I've always found it really lovely that older generations could bring people in, the younger generation, and show them things and say, this is where I come from and this is being celebrated in a museum. So I always really liked that. But then again, I don't know how much it's been updated in the last 30 years, because I know those cows. No, they're ox, aren't they? I think they were there. I think everything has changed, and I think it's like that whole very traditional picture of what South Asia is. But also I hadn't realised until you just mentioned it then that there's that. And then there's the other room, a museum of Blackburn life. And they're both completely separate. And one of the things I really like, you know, when you go to Manchester Museum, and the way they've displayed things is they've got lots of things around tea rituals together, or they've got lots of things about weddings together, and so there's no kind of division about time or culture or anything like that. It's just saying, you know, we're human beings. What unites us, and they're shown together, and actually that really is nice. And it hadn't even crossed my mind how important that might be for Blackburn to have an exhibition in the museum that's about us as human beings. As you know, like I've done on my poster, we are Blackburn. Everything we bring to the town is who and what Blackburn is. So that, I'm quite excited now. You've just made me think about the idea of having some kind of combined exhibit. Because it is, if you divide things in the museum, if you divide things with language, then you're both reflecting divisions, but also kind of emphasising divisions.
Yeah.
I think we are equal and we are on one path. Different cultures, you know, a different culture, but not different mind.
If you were to put something in the museum collection that represented you?
Well, probably my mug. I mean, it's a £1 mug from a very cheap shop, and it's quite old and it's very battered, but I love drinking tea. It's my mug. Nobody else is allowed to use it. And it actually crops up in photos quite a lot. And also I like spots and stripes. I've always been a fan of spots and stripes, so everybody knows it's my mug. So it's kind of on lots of different levels. It means home to me, I suppose, as well. You know, it's nothing fancy, it's really scratched. And Owen managed to get glue all over it the other week, so I keep finding like bobbles of really, really strong glue that I have to pick off it.
I want to put my, like music or things like this, which I related to.
Often it's down to the person who labels things, what something is known as, and it's not always accurate. Mm-hmm. So somebody will give it a label, and that label will stay for maybe hundreds of years until somebody discovers something different. Oh, it's still got the old information saying it's a samurai suit.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. Because there were 3 Catherines in my class. So there was a Catherine, a Cathy and a Cath. So I hate being called Cathy.
Yeah.
Because it's someone else.
Yeah, it
it's
don't feel
not
like
me.
you.
It's not me.
Well, I didn't know. I've just known you as Cath. Because I've never seen your name written down. It might say Catherine, eh?
Yeah, it says
if
Catherine.
If it were written down.
Yeah. I'm happy with Catherine.
Right.
Although I do feel like I'm in trouble when...
Yeah.
So, do you like the Kate or not Kate?
Kate.
I'm not Kate either, no.
Not Kate?
No, I'm Cath, C-A-T-H.
Yeah.
Yeah, my pronunciation is different, but we write your name like this, C-A-T-H.
Yeah, but
Cath.
I'm quite happy whatever it comes out as long as it starts off here as Cath.
Yeah.
Pronunciation is different. My name is
strange.
Imran. And
yeah, well, I
English
noticed
people
that,
call
Imran.
Imran, and Asian people say Imran.
So what do you
Imran.
prefer?
I think because name is the same, as those pronunciations is different.
Yeah.
Like England, like
so it's the accent.
It's the accent.
Yeah.
Mostly, our countries, they knowledge about grammar English, so pronunciation is different.
Yeah. It's like my husband Owen grew up on the west coast of Ireland, and they speak quite an archaic form of English there, because they were taught That's what he claims anyway. So when he says does be, sometimes Owen says instead of is, he says he does be.
It does be.
Right.
Yeah, and he claims it's because they were taught English as a second language by religious people. So it's kind of stuck with this. But I don't hear anyone else talk like that in his family.
I've never heard that phrase. Does be.
It's
nice though.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It does be. Like.
It feels nice, doesn't it?
It is.
It does be.
It does be.
It makes sense. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe, does be.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. It's the kind of thing.
Can be, maybe,
Can be.
does be.
Does be. It's
Oh,
good. Sounds good.
Does be. Yeah.
The other thing that he always says that makes me laugh is film.
Oh yeah, my mum sometimes.
Film.
Instead of film.
Yeah,
Instead of film.
You know, the country in Pakistan, they call film.
Film.
We can film, not film.
Yeah.
Film and film.
Yeah. So Owen says film. My brother-in-law's from Newcastle and he says film as well. And we just laugh at them. Our family gangs up on them and laughs at them.
It's like sometimes we say water instead of water.
Yeah.
I say it regularly. Instead of saying water, I
You've
say
been
water.
Pakistan, there, India, they call water as well. Water. Glass of water. Our pronunciation in this country.
Yeah.
Glass of water.
And I sometimes notice V's being double
water,
U's.
water, and water. These three pronunciations, isn't it?
Yeah.
Glass of water. Mostly people have heard glass of water.
Have you heard of the Rosetta Stone?
No.
I don't know much about it. It's a copy of the Rosetta Stone, one of the most, I can't read that far away, important discoveries of Egyptology found by Napoleon's soldiers during their Egyptian campaign of 1799. The slab is carved with 3 different types of writing which all say the same thing. Oh yeah, I remember. The bottom section is in Greek and was easily translated, which means that experts could compare it with the other 2 scripts, hieroglyphs at the top and the later demiotics in the middle. The breakthrough was made in 1822 by Champollion, a French scholar who described what all the tiny hieroglyphic pictures meant, providing a key for thousands of other Egyptian texts. The writing on the Rosetta Stone is actually quite a dull set of city rules and charters. So because they understood the Greek, what's that? Then they could translate that, which meant for the first time they could translate that, because it all said exactly the same thing.
Right. So there's a different language.
Yeah, so that's the Greek, that's the, what's the other one? Demiotics. And then the hieroglyphics, the little pictures that nobody up until that point knew what they meant.
The project's a response to being called divisive, Blackburn's divided.
Yeah, the most divided town in the country.
Yeah, then we need to start doing things that actually suggests that it's not divided at all.
Yeah.
And I think your poster kind of sums that up, doesn't it?
Well, that's why I wanted to do it, and it's not come from anything other than me. I wanted to do something. I didn't go out campaigning before the election. I'm not particularly a protester, but I wanted to use my skills to make a difference. And I don't know whether it will, but I just thought I had a bit of time over Christmas. I've been wanting to do it for ages, and I just thought, just get on with it and see if we can get this out and just change the narrative. Just present some, and the response I've had to it so far has been absolutely amazing.
It looks great.
I'm pleased with it. Of course, there are things I would want to change now, but I have only had 50 printed, so. But yeah, I just wanted to say, I just wanted to tell people and have something that we could all celebrate. So those people who do feel differently had something to say, look, this is us, but then also maybe to help other people who don't feel like that to maybe think about it, or a conversation starter, or just as some kind of tool. I was brought up Catholic, so my family's Irish and Catholic, and so I grew up with these all around. Because an object is just a piece of wood with paint and gold leaf on it, isn't it? Really, it's and yet the significance of it. And I know, because I know when I do paint, a lot of my work has the influences from my childhood in it, because you don't go to church for 18 years or whatever it was in a Catholic church and come away not influenced by the imagery around you. And I went to a very quite an old church, and it was just full of icons and gold leaf and the incense and the ritual and all of those things. And even though I entirely reject religion, I am forever changed by that experience, and I'm forever changed by being part of that community as well. That's the thing that I realised when I grew up, that not only did we all go to school together, but we all saw each other with our families at church on a Sunday, and we all went to the church youth club. And the other thing was, when I went to university to do fine arts, the number of Catholics or former Catholics there on the course, because it was quite a traditional. I went to Newcastle University, and it was quite a traditional, very painterly course. The number of Catholics that were there was astounding.
All failed Catholics.
Pretty
they all
much.
Kind of fallen.
Yeah, though there were no practicing Catholics there, but they were all fallen. But we'd all grown up with that kind of imagery around us.
I wonder how much art had played a part in that. That kind of. I don't believe in it anymore, or whether they didn't believe and then they found out. Or I wonder.
I don't know. Probably a combination of all, because I think the people on our course were naturally people who were exploring ideas and experimenting, and as soon as you start to do that and start questioning, that's when that happens, I think.
Well, that's when it becomes less about faith and more about wanting to know actually what's going on.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you say, questioning.
Questioning, and but yeah, all with that kind of underpinning of icons and gold leaf and and ritual and frocks and costume and Virgin Marys and Bernadette and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I suppose art is about questioning, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about questioning everything.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. It's a process of reflecting and about questioning, reflecting and communicating ideas and thoughts, and then allowing that then to stand there for other people to bring whatever they want to. Does Mary have a role in Islam?
Yeah, of course.
What's her role? Maryam. And
she is a really holy lady.
Right.
Yeah, and we believe without husband. We call Isa, you call Jesus.
Right.
We believe that. We believe he's a prophet, and mostly people believe he's God's son, I think.
Yes, yeah.
The Quran said God no God and his sons or something like this. So that's why I believe he's just a prophet, like Prophet Muhammad.
So, what's Muhammad? Is he
prophet?
A prophet. Yeah. So is there a God in Islam?
Yeah. He as Jesus tell the people that God is one, and doing good things and stop the bad thing, and he just teach the people, and as a prophet,
Right.
Prophet Muhammad teach as well, saying.
But they're not the Son of God. There isn't a level. Is there a level above them? You know, in Catholicism, there's God.
We believe he's a prophet.
Prophet, right?
And we believe all prophets, like Musa, Jesus. You call David, and we call Dawood.
Okay.
David is different. You know, the 4 books come from God.
Right.
On the earth. Before I got long hair and beard like this.
I know you got your hair cut.
Yeah, and the kids know that from school. They go, "Are you Jesus?"
So do different places have different kinds of designs?
Yeah, there is a culture that's different.
Right.
There's different cultures, and Peshawar, Lahore, Karachi, Islamabad. There are different cultures, like clothes and things like this.
So can you see just from a piece of textiles where it's from?
Yeah.
Gosh. See, I just kind of see everything as one. It's weird because you don't.
People wearing it, like I got here in the UK. I got this one.
So it's really strange as we're both standing here looking at the same thing, but we will have a very different experience of looking at that.
Yeah.
Because what I see.
My problem is called RP, recommend pigmentosa.
Right.
I just can see straight. That's it, like a hole. Can you see like this?
So, like through there?
Or like tunnel vision? Is it like tunnel vision?
Tunnel vision and partially sight.
Gosh. So do you... Yeah. So to actually enjoy something like this, do you have to get quite close to it?
Yeah.
Or do you just enjoy it from a distance?
From the distance.
Right.
Yeah. Because when you see in the hole, if some things are close to your eyes, but you can't see properly. When you go far,
right,
you can see that.
Right.
This. चिट्ठियां तू पानियां भुल गए ओ सजना वे दूर दिया वे सजना वे दूर दिया चिट्ठियां तू पानियां भुल गए ओ सजना वे दूर दिया वे सजना वे दूर दिया यादां तेरियां सताउण यादां तेरियां सताउण तां रातां नूं जगाउण यादां तेरियां सताउण तां रातां नूं जगाउण तेरे हिजर च दिल चूर चूर होया होए सजना वे दूर दिया होए सजना वे दूर दिया चिट्ठियां तू पानियां भुल गए ओ सजना वे दूर दिया वे सजना वे दूर दिया रुत्तां होइयां ने जवान रुत्तां होइयां ने जवान तने देंदा है जहान रुत्तां होइयां ने जवान तने देंदा है जहान तैनू दस्सां कि मैं किन्ना मजबूर होया वे सजना वे दूर दिया वे सजना वे दूर दिया चिट्ठियां तू पानियां भुल गए ओ सजना वे दूर दिया वे सजना वे दूर